Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, new Butler High School head football coach, Christie. Eric, you getting used to hearing that?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Eric, you played at Butler. You've been a coach here for the past 15 years or so with a half dozen head coaches. We know during this time Butler's struggled, a couple of winless seasons, an average season of 2-7. How do you answer people say where there are no expectations or pressure on you to win? What's your response to that?
Yeah, I just try to have fun. That's the part of it. I enjoy the game, love football, love the fact what we got here at Butler. That was my goal all along when I got into coaching back from Clarion and started at Clarion Limestone. I said, I get back to Butler. I want to make an impact here and be around with it. So, expectations, everyone's going to have them. Everyone wants to win. Everyone has a vision and a view of what's going on. I want to get invested in these kids and their lives, and I think if we do that the right way, then success will follow.
Eric, I don't have to tell you about the history of Butler. There was a 45-year period there going into the late 80s, early 90s, where Butler had 43 winning seasons, 4 undefeated teams, 2 undefeated WPL championship teams. You think it's possible, and a lot of people say it's not, that the well's gone dry, that you can bring some of this glory back to Butler football?
Well, again, it's not, I guess I'm the head of it, but for me, it's the people who want to get involved. If we're putting the right product, getting the right people involved with this thing, then yeah, anything's possible. I mean, that's the America that we live in, right? That's the community we live in.
And you expect to win. I wouldn't think of anything less than, in spite of the fact that you're in one of the toughest conferences in the state with Pine Ridge and Central Catholic, Mount Lebanon, North Allegheny, Seneca Valley. Pretty tough conference.
And they add those teams in, and making the one-team conference has been pretty brutal here with all the ones that are in there. And they're all good teams, and that's the part of it. Playing college football at Clarion, some of my best friends were kids from Shaler and kids that I played against in high school. And now coaching with, Rob Niederberger and the guys who are still coaching at Shaler or other places are from North Allegheny. I learned real quickly, growing up, I hate playing NA. We're going to kill those guys. We're going to destroy them. But now, I've realized that they're still people. They put their pants on like everyone else. They're human beings, and I wish the best for them. So it's not that I root against the teams we're playing. I want those kids to be successful. I just want to beat them on Friday nights.
So when you look back, your years as an assistant under half a dozen head coaches, what do you take away from them? What have you learned that you could add and maybe help you get this thing turned around?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was, for me being kind of selfless with it. There was a big goal that I want to be the head coach here. And then how can I work into this, and what can I do for that? And through that process, realizing, it's not so much being a head coach. It's awesome being here, and I'm really excited to do it. But, what's really important in life is the kids and keeping them first, and making sure that's the focus of what we have in place. So sometimes I saw coaches take it too seriously. Sometimes I think it's still a game. It's still, not life and death. The sun still comes up tomorrow. We all want to win, be a part of it. But keeping the focus of what's here and what's present with it.
Winning becomes contagious, and Butler has not had a winning season, made the playoffs since '93. That's a pretty long drought. Has the losing become contagious?
No, I wouldn't say that. It has become a part where it's negative to be there. Like, the program has become something that's not attractive, and kids are staying away from it. Even in the hallways when you're walking around, hey, you want to play football? No, I don't want to play that. Well, will you come just see one thing? Will you come to it? And that's where I'm at right now. Will you just come one time to something, and then let's go from there and see if, and then it becomes on to our staff to make it attractive to the kids and make it appealing, and then bring them back again.
So how do you get these kids out? As we talked before, I told you about, about the fact we used to have 100 out every year and dress 45 kids for away JV games alone. Now you have trouble getting teams. So is this appeal you're making to kids? Are you finding some success with it?
Yeah, we started right now. Mike Seibert, who's a longtime track coach around here, he came to me actually and said, hey, I'd like to help recruit for you. And I said, yeah, you've been very successful with the track program recruiting. Would you mind doing some of that stuff? So we got a bulletin board in the high school. We're working on getting one at the intermediate right now, and just trying to get kids seeing the program or hearing about it, and then trying to have certain events in place, and not necessarily revealing everything that we got out there right now, but if the kids will start coming around, find things that they go, hey, that's pretty cool. And, I don't want to force them or lay on them like, you have to be here. This is the stuff we have to do. I want them to be saying, this stuff's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, and have them talking among themselves. So that's some of the events we're working on. And right now that's a staff, getting the right staff and the guys that they respect and they like in place.
Now, the ninth grade program, you had trouble fielding a team last year?
There was, and we actually only had 8 kids in the ninth grade total that played, which is just not good. That's unacceptable. So I've made it a major focus to have a ninth grade. You have to have a feeder, and that's hard. It's hard to talk to a ninth grade parent and say, hey, you know what? We want your kid to come up and practice every day with Jake Cradle, who's with the pit and doing a great job there. Parents don't want to hear that. So for us, we're starting to say, hey, let's have a team down there. We got enough bodies to field a team and have a separate group.
With the lack of success that's occurred in the last 20 years, to try something different, as we talked about before, like going to a 2-platoon system, starting in the early grades, trying to encourage kids. You have an opportunity. There are 2 positions open now. You could be an offensive player, defensive player. Any thought about you going in that direction?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I want to get as many kids on the field as we can. And you even said 22. I see 33. When you talk special teams, and there's even more than that when you talk kickoff, return, punt, return, kick, that's a major asset and facet of the game. So if we can get kids going, I got to roll. And there's part of that too. Kickoff team, you don't need to know a lot of details. Can you run down, avoid a kid to the left and avoid to the right and make a tackle? There's plenty of kids in the hallways that can do that, without having a lot of time and effort and studying. And, hey, you didn't play for the last couple of years, but you're a senior and you're a tough kid. Why don't you come out and run down and make a tackle and, get a letter and be around the guys and have a good time.
Eric, what do you see offensively that you would like to do? You've been an offensive coach. You've been an offensive coordinator. Any thoughts what direction you want to go here?
Yeah, I mean, looking at right now, it's the term. I don't know who's coming out yet. We'll see that, and as kids come out over the summer, there could be different packages for different people. And depending on what they're good at and what they can handle, we can run anything. Running an ISO, we'll teach that. We'll teach kick. We'll teach trap. We'll teach them some option. Trying to get the ball past them. We'll put elements out there and see what kids can handle. And then with that group, whatever they kind of rally behind, that's what we'll kind of gear towards. So a lot of it is who comes out? What numbers do we get? Do we get some basketball kids that actually come out this team? Do we get some lacrosse kids that come out? Are there other athletes in these hallways that are going to say, yeah, the football, I'm going to give it a chance again and come back out? And then with them, that leaves us a couple more options.
What kind of a head coach do you see yourself being?
Good question. I want to be remembered for, caring about the kids. When the kids walk away from here, I hope they say, that guy cared about me. And my life was more important than anything else. And, what I'm doing as a person. And then hopefully they're still coming back and seeing me 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And we're keeping an update on my life, their life. And
what kind of things are you going to demand from your players? Things that you want them to commit to that you expect that they fulfill as players?
Honesty, integrity. Loyalty. I think honesty being the biggest of them all. Don't kid yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to anyone around here. Your coaches. Just be honest with what's going on. Sometimes you go out there and you're getting your butt kicked by someone, and they're having a better practice than you or a better game, and you come back and say, "Hey, I'm trying. I got you. We got other things we can work out and we can get through." So I hope they feel like we matter.
When you look at some of the other teams in the conference and at times the disparity in the talent level, how do you think you can overcome some of that? I mean, it'd be nice to get some players like a Jacoby and some of those behemoths that Central Catholic has. Yes.
Yeah, we got some great athletes at Butler that are playing other sports and going around, and I understand where things are going out. But if we can get kids that are interested in this and committing and being a part of it, we got kids in the hallways that they're doing things all over the place. We have some successful sports at Butler, and hopefully they'll say, "Hey, football, the fall, I got nothing else going on. Let me try this thing out. Can I have a role on this team?" So getting the athletes is one. So part of that is getting numbers. Strength of numbers is always a good thing. And making it appealing to them, making it fun for them.
Well, Eric, I wish you the best. No question, you got a tough job ahead of you. I think you have the right attitude, and let's maybe we'll get up here next year and do one of your home games.
Sounds great. Sounds
Good luck
fun.
to you.
Thanks.
I'll be right back with Ellen George. I am back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight. Guys, we're heading into the final week of the regular season. Robbie Carmody of Mars, 41-27, 33 average on the season. Ethan Morton of Butler, 35. He averages close to 25. Isaiah Bauman of Freeport, 33. Andrew Christophic, Pine Richland, 24. Aaron Drake, First Baptist Christian, 23. Ben Bill of Freeport, 21. John Fucon, Cardinal World North Catholic, 21. For the girls, Tess Myers, Cardinal World North Catholic, 37 and 22. Emily Hedges of Carn City, 33 and 22. Ellie Collins of Hampton, 22. Rachel Martindale, North Allegheny, 21. Emma McDermott of Slippery Oak High School, 21 and 20. Lauren Edwards of Hampton, 21. Emma Bear of Montauk, 21. Lauren Wasselson of Mars, 21. Ellie Thompson, AC Valley, 20. Emily Frazier of Knock, 20. Courtney Roman, North Allegheny, 20. And Jenna Mankey of Freeport, 20. The girls outdid the boys last week. College men, Bruce Brule of Slippery Rock University, 23. College women, Mackenzie Craig, BC3, 37 points, 31 rebounds. Carly Burdette, BC3, 28. And in high school wrestling, Seneca Valley defeated Waynesburg 39-31 to take third place in AAA in the Whippeals, and they advanced to the state tournament where they defeated Pittsburgh Carrick 60-11. Now Seneca Valley 15-2. They move on to Hershey Thursday in a state tournament.
Well, that's a great draw. Getting Carrick, that's what you're talking about. So you get out, you get Carrick.
And then
you can make reservations. You say, right. Okay, we're going to Hershey.
And they were 10-1 in the City League.
Something tells me that City League wrestling is
no, it's not. It's not something they're interested in.
I don't think Penn State and Ohio State have anything to worry about, do you?
No. Let's go to our power rankings. Boys, 6A, Cannon McMillan, followed by Butler, Penn Hills, Mount Lebanon, and Woodland Hills. And for the first time in 3 years, no Pine Richland. And 5A, Mars, Moon, Franklin Regional, Highlands, McKeesport, and Trinity. And 4A, Quaker Valley, Indiana, Newcastle, Bell Vernon, and Grove City. How many tough games has Grove City lost? How many 1-point or 2-point overtime losses? 2 this year?
Well, for sure.
Well, they win with 40. So
they just lost 43-42 to Farrell.
They play low-scoring games.
That's what they do.
And so they're in a lot of close games because of that.
In 3A, it's Lincoln Park, Seton LaSalle, Washington, Burgettstown, and Aliquippa. 2A, Olsh, Jeanette, Sewickley Academy, Chartiers, Houston, and Sarah Catholic. 1A, it's Manessa and Vincentian, Clerton, Imani Christian, and Union. And for the girls, 6A, undefeated North Allegheny, followed by Peters Township, Latrobe, Bethel Park, and Norwin. 5A, it's Hampton, Trinity, Mars, Thomas Jefferson, and Gateway. 4A, Cardinal World North Catholic, Blackhawk, Keystone Oaks, Central Valley, and Beaver. And 3A, undefeated East Allegheny, Bishop Canevin, Neshannock, Mohawk, and Charleroi. And 2A, it's Vincentian, Olsh, Chartiers, Houston, Leechburg, and Brentwood. And in 1A, it's West Green, Winchester, Thurston, Quigley, Sewickley Academy, and Aquinas Academy. Well, let's go to our stories of the week. Super Bowl, 84 points, an NFL record for the history of the NFL, 1,151 total yards. If you'd have told me ahead of time New England would put up a record, 613 yards, 33 points, 3 straight 75-yard scoring drives, I would have said it's a rout. Yeah. But we know what happened. Nick Foles, who you said would take him to the promised land several weeks ago.
No, I didn't think there was any chance. Any chance.
I'm just giving you a dig. 374 yards, 3 TVs. He was a mirror image of Brady. He was flawless. 9 for 12 on third down conversions.
Yeah, one of the things that when you say a mirror image, both teams, the offensive lines, and once again, everybody keeps going past it, they were the keys to the game. Both teams, the quarterback was 7-on-7 drill. They both went back there, looked around, and found somebody was open. If you don't get a pass rush in the NFL, they all look good. And when you do get a pass rush, they all look lousy. There was no pass rush in that game at all.
500 yards, you got to have more. I know 30 points sounds like a lot. But with 500 yards, you have to have more points.
Brady threw for a record 505 yards. I didn't hear any chance of defense.
No.
During that game, Philly came in, guys, with the number 1 rated defense in the NFL, and everyone said you can't run on them, and yet the Patriots did what they wanted to do. But their defense was so bad. Normally, their red zone defense is pretty good. They were lousy.
Yeah, both defenses were putrid, and it's just a sign of the game that the Super Bowl They're letting them play. They're not going to go holding on the offensive line. They'll let them hold every play because they don't want to throw flags. There's no flags in the Super Bowl, and there never are. And they let them play, and so offensive interference. I saw 5 offensive interference. If it was a regular season, 5 that would have been called. I saw 2 picks. I saw 3 guys push off.
Huge pick on the Philly, the
and
one that won the game.
They're not going to. They're not
Gronk
going to
shoved the guy out of the way on that Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, they're not going to call anything.
No.
So the offense had a big advantage in the game. Also,
1 punt.
Yeah, New England didn't punt at all.
Oh my gosh.
So for the Eagles, their first NFL title since Norm Van Brocken and two-way Chuck Bednarik, 1960, when they beat the Packers 17-13. Eagles coach Doug Peterson, I give him credit. He was aggressive. He didn't slow down the second half. A couple of things he did, it backfired. They probably wouldn't have let him back into Philadelphia. Like it's 15-3, and he went for 2. I thought you kicked the extra point at that point. But listen, one of those days, everything worked.
Yeah, it's called execution. It's not called the gamble if it works, and that is exactly what happened. 4th down from the 45-yard line. That was the play of the game.
Game's over.
4th and 3 right there, and New England's going to get the ball there and win the game.
Yeah,
and
they
make it. That they're saying it was guts. I'm just thinking that he figured it out watching film that if we give the ball back to Brady, we're going to lose. And that's why I was talking to George. And didn't he get the ball back? And I said, well, George, the game's over. New England's going to win.
But Peterson knew he couldn't stop Brady.
And he fumbled that ball. They got him right at that play.
In other years, that might have bounced up to him.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he was going, even if he kicks the ball away, they just scored 3 straight 75-yard drives.
And that's what he's thinking. We can't stop him anyway. But this is modern football. And what we say it every week on here, the day of running the football is out. Whoever gets the ball is going. Their running play now is a 2-yard pass and try to get it in space. Nobody runs the ball at all.
And yet both teams ran the ball. The Eagles for 164 and the Pats for 114. Gostkowski is usually as good as they come.
Yeah.
Missed 2 extra points and a chip shot field goal.
Yeah, and it comes
There's
back,
5 points
comes back
right
to
there.
haunt 'em. No question. Those kind of plays in that kind of game really come back to get you because you're counting on him. That's almost a sure thing in New England's thoughts. That is going to be points.
Yeah, good point.
But was it poor tackling on the part of New England or elusiveness on the part of Philly running backs and receivers?
No, how do you know? You know, it's like that old line, if he makes the shot, it's a good shot. If he does it and it works, you know, it's hard to measure because one man's defense is, well, he should have tackled him. Well, he didn't.
They didn't stop anything, like you said, though.
No.
So that's why you can't say it's poor tackling. I just think the game was just so pathetic defensively. They short pass, long pass, screen pass, draw, run, whatever they did.
And all their guys
worked.
went over. Aguilar went
Right down the line.
Clement, all their guys went way over their stats.
Brady and Belichick now 5-3 in Super Bowls. I know someone asked me, "Wow, that kind of that tarnishes." I said, "Tarnishes nothing. They made it to 8 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's all you got to go.
They won
by.
5 of them." But the question is this: is this the end of the Brady Belichick dynasty, or this happened before when they lost it to the Giants? They said this would be the end, and they won 3 Super Bowls since that time.
I'll never say it's the end of Brady ever when Brady's on the field. Ever, I'll never say that he's that good. He's trying. You know what though? If you think about it, and most people are not thinking about it, Seattle should have beat New England.
5 straight.
Seattle should have beat New England, and Atlanta should have. They'd have 5 straight losses in the Super Bowl.
They would.
Now they get there, but they would have 5 straight losses. But as long as Brady's there, they're dangerous.
And
That's just the way
remember,
it
the
is.
Yankees should have beaten the Pirates in the '60
Yeah.
World
Yeah,
Series.
exactly. That's why you can't say should have.
And,
That's why you can't.
These assistant coaches leaving that
It's 9 and 10 coordinators he's lost.
doesn't matter.
They think
Doesn't
it's. They
matter.
think they really believe they're
Because they're
going to win
going
with
to take
them.
that system
I
with
think
them and win nothing.
Can he retool this defense? Belichick.
That's his specialty.
That's to be his offseason. Because the last 2 Super Bowls, guys, they've given up 72 points.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is, and it's hard.
No, you're right.
It's hard to this day when contracts are not given up so easy. How are you going to get
No,
players?
you're right.
It's not so easy to get players.
Here's the bit. They got a pool of money. And luckily, Brady doesn't take what he deserves, or they never have a deal.
But what do you think about this question asked to Brady about retiring when he led the NFL in passing, 4,577 yards and 30 touchdowns? Why the question about retiring?
Because his age.
I could see if I understand, and I could see if he only threw for 2,300.
I
threw
understand.
20 interceptions.
It's his age. We're all hung up on this 40 thing, and he's proving it's not a barrier.
All right, next year for Philly, Foles or Wentz?
That is a no-brainer. Wentz is going to be there, and Foles is happy to back up. That's the best thing they have. They have a guy that's happy to be a backup.
He had a 6-1 run.
Yeah, so
but I'll bet Foles is wishing this was the end of his contract. He has another year.
They said that he will be a hero in Philly for the rest of his
he will
life.
be.
And he wants to be a minister, so I don't think money's an issue with it.
Never has been.
He's a different cat, Ed.
Yeah,
But every quarterback like him, he was 6-1 when he took over. He wants to be a starter. And there are teams out there that could use him.
Well, he'd get his agent to pressure him then. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Of course, he got a shot with the Rams, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, if you read about
Well,
it.
Jeff Fisher was the coach.
You know,
Wipe that off. Jeez.
That's true.
I mean, look at them this year.
That is true.
Now, the question everyone's asking, what happened to New England corner Malcolm Butler? No one knows.
Well, he's come out with a tweet today.
He just tweeted today.
That said he did nothing wrong. So it's the first time that he said, I did not. And so I said it. I tweeted it. He didn't do anything wrong. He's been playing so bad that they decided to bench him. I'm the only guy that's going to say it. I'm the only guy saying it, that he stunk the joint out for 3 weeks in a row.
And give Belichick credit. He would not answer the question that
he didn't throw him under the bus.
Didn't throw him under. Said I benched him because of poor play. He said there are a lot of factors that went into the decision, and that's
crying.
it.
Did you see him crying before the game?
Yeah, I did.
So there was something. I got to be something more. No, Albert, he played a few plays because he played 97.5% of the plays all year.
I really believe that's New England style. They've done it before. See, he wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Before they won.
They've done it. They won, and they've done it. And they've done a million.
They were getting
games.
lacerated back there.
They've done that for running backs forever. Lewis will run for 150 yards.
I know.
And all of a sudden, the next game, he doesn't get one snap.
I
You think, what's going on here?
Look for 5 or 6 different changes on that defense. Next year, and they need some outside linebackers.
So difficult to get
They
them,
need
though.
a rush defensive, and we revisit this catch rule. It's not complicated in that regard but it's so inconsistent in how they rule it. So Ertz's catch looks so much like Jesse James' catch. The ball hit the ground, the nose of it. So you think the ruling would have been the same, but it wasn't.
Was interesting.
Was Reveron intimidated not to make
I don't know what the call is.
catch rule?
Well, how about giving New England another break? Do you think that entered into it?
I
was he
agree with that,
intimidated?
That might could have. But you guys are out there who have a technology genius. Put Gammons to play third game of the year this year. I happen to see it by luck. It's the exact play. No, the exact play of Ertz, incomplete. Exact. I mean, exactly. They put the two of them right next to each other. The tight end for the Steelers runs into the end zone, gets tripped, ball hits the ground, goes up.
It's the same thing.
It was the exact same play.
So
they don't know what they're doing.
You could argue about the rule. It's the consistency in the application of the rule.
Exactly.
But, George, you say they're going to change it. You're going to go back to the old arguments they had before.
Well, they brought 5 receivers in and some coaches this week already.
Chris Carter said leave it the way it is. Control the ball all the way down.
Well, that could be, but those two weren't controlled.
Yes. They weren't controlled. Now, Super Bowl with TV ratings, they took another dip, 7%. 103 million. It's the lowest since the Steelers and the Cards played in the 2009 Super Bowl when they only had 98 million viewers.
How many do they have this year?
103.
103 million.
7%.
George and I talked this over. We really believe that the ratings got to be changed on how they view it, because people don't watch TV anymore. So they're in their car watching the computer.
Younger people, the millennials.
Yeah, exactly. They don't watch it.
We watch.
No, Eddie, I got a buddy. I said, "What do you watch it on? Joystick or two?" I don't even know what he's talking. Thunder Rally or something like that.
Yeah, they watch it different ways.
It's like Johnny Carson. They watch it in the morning. They don't. They watch.
Listen, if I said when I was to teach some college classes on the editorial page, they're looking at me like, "What are you referring to?
What page?
What page is that?"
Didn't they tell you to put something on your desktop once?
Yes.
When he was back in the day, tell him.
They said put you on desktop. So I had it laying on my desk when they walked in, and they said, "Where's your computer?" I said, "You asked me to put it on the desktop."
He put it on the desktop.
It was laying on the desk.
Hey, for Steeler fans, they're happy. They have the 6 Super Bowls, Belichick and Brady 5. The Green Bay Packer fans of the Lombardy area, Brady and Belichick still tied with Lombardi and Starr at 5.
And people are celebrating that. That's like the Miami Dolphins still celebrating every year their undefeated season.
Let's jump to high school basketball in a stunner last week. Down 23-5 after one quarter. The Seneca Valley Raiders stormed back, outscored Pine Richland 58-38 for a 63-61 win. Free throws by Jake Bonovsky and Chris Hart in the final seconds sealed the comeback win. David Ritchie with 17 points, Djokovic 17 for Pine. This week, Seneca Valley 12-7, 5-5. They could be a spoiler this week. Pine Richland 15-5, 7-3. They drop out of first place. Tie with Butler and Central Catholic. Butler and Central play tonight. Butler's 8-2. Central's 9-2. Central wins. They win the section. Butler wins tonight and Friday. They win their first section title since 1992.
That's awesome.
Pine Richland needs both Butler and
to
lose, and they need to sweep this week. Crazy week.
Yeah, it is a crazy week. And I will say this, that Seneca Valley, George, when you saw them, you liked their team.
I did.
So, that they're capable of beating anybody.
Oh, without a doubt. That Pine Richland proves it at Pine Richland. And they played them tough when we did.
2 years in a row they've beaten Pine and Pine.
And we had their game down there.
You were impressed with them. You liked their team.
Till Hart got hurt.
They were leading.
They were in that game.
Okay.
Now, this Friday, Seneca Valley's at Butler. We will be there to present you that game. Monday, the Mars girls will be at home against the Cardinal World North Catholic girls.
Great game.
Great back-to-back games. And let's look at 5A. Moon, I was shocked at this score. Beat Mars 58-43. First section loss. So Mars 9-1, Moon 8-2. Mars can't slip up this week. They have to win both.
And that's what section play is about. You don't play your very best against a team that is ready for you. You're going home a loser. This might have been the game that turns Mars' season around. It says, wait a minute, we're not maybe practicing as hard as we should be. Maybe we're doing this. That's a wake-up call.
And going from 4 to 6, we're going to have these games again. These games are going to be replayed.
Yes. Now, with all the teams around, maybe you've seen them. Quaker Valley 18-0. Quaker Valley, the best team out there?
Yeah, I talked to 3 people this week about it on purpose because I want to know more about them. I didn't realize they were 6'7", 6'5", 6'4", 6'4", 6'2". I had no idea that was the size of their team. With that size and a Division I kid, they're definitely the team to beat.
Guy said to me the other day, "Are they that good?" I go, "What do you? They're 18 now."
Well, you speak of that size, and George, you know this. I've done games from Central Catholic's gym. It's about as big as this room that we're in, and their front line
Big advantage.
is 6'7", 6'8", 6'4".
They've always had players down there. Coach Crummy, I always built him up on a pedestal, and George said, wait a minute, let's make sure you know what kind of players they've had.
Were you at an All-Star game once, and you kept saying, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah, two guys. And I said, where are those 2 best players on the All-Star game from? I said, they're both from Central Catholic. I said, they came in 4th in their league this year. How did that happen?
Quickly finish up here in the final minute at Slippery Rock University. You were there. We did the game. Another heartbreaking loss for the Rock. Anthony Glover buried a 3-pointer for IUP with 4.7 seconds. He had 19 points in the first half. What was he, George? 0 for 9 until he hit that 3-pointer. And another tough loss for the Rock.
Perfect example of losing the game in the first half, not the second half. A Slippery Rock plays 2 halves like that, it's a 10 to 15 point win, no question about it.
It's the first time I saw a 7-point play in basketball. A foul on Slippery Rock, technical foul on Kevin Reynolds. They make all 4, and then the coach's son, Dante Lombardi, comes on.
What a turnaround that was. That was a turnaround, no question.
But the Rock rebounded with a big win over Seton Hill, so they're still in there.
Sure.
They're good. They're
very
really good.
That's it. We run out of time. See you next week.